I have bad news and good news for you. The bad news is obviously I don't have any video, so sorry. But the good news is I have not only content, I have applications. So I'm going to talk a bit about this other part of the new ecosystem in the mobile domain. Obviously, you know all the details in the story. Being at the end of the conference, it doesn't matter if I enter into much detail. But the only thing I want to mention with this slide is, in my presentation, I'm going to talk about challenges, basically, for the mobile and content applications domain, its development. I'm going to give a brief policy twist. So there's having maybe too much time with the policymakers, so I tend to think a bit about what kind of policies can be put in place to improve or to get the best from this domain. And as I mentioned, I try to, being also at the end of the conference, I try to summarize everything into 4 big challenges ahead. So this is obviously a simplification. I mean, it will be impossible to put everything in just 4 big challenges, but I try to do my best and also try to put some question marks and try to have some common ground for the upcoming discussion at the end of the session. So entering into details, the first challenge, it will be very simple. Mobile content applications is a very complex and fragmented ecosystem. So that means that we have, like, in digital markets, we have like 3 main stages, very typical. We have the production development stage, the big box in the upper part in this diagram. That don't try to read it. I mean, it's just too complicated because it's complex and fragmented. And we have the second stage, that is the distribution part, and we have the final part that will be the consumption or even interaction with the content and applications. And the news is, in the mobile domain, we have a different ecosystem than in the web domain. We have more type of players with huge or big market power. We have obviously the developers and the producers, but we have aggregators because there are a number of different platforms, and we have the mobile operators, we have the distribution channels, and we have the hardware and software suppliers of different kinds and different types of devices and systems for these devices to work. And this is completely different to the web domain because the number and the size and the interest and the type of players are completely different. And for this reason, it's no wonder that we've come to a kind of, and this is a word from a colleague in the University of Brussels, this idea of platformization. It was needed some way of trying to simplify how to deal with delivering content applications to users. And this word of platformization that we're seeing now every day when we think about the Apples and the Androids and etc. and the RIMs and even the new Windows Mobile, and now these mobile operators trying to create some wholesale applications development platform or something similar to try to recover part of the advantage they have lost. This is, I think, one of the main explanations and how we reach this stage. And also there's an important idea about how to shift, manage these platforms, about this gatekeeping role. And what we're seeing these days is the kind of a fight about this. And with each of these challenges, I'm going to put an example to try to fix the ideas. And for example, in the case of the platforms, one can think about mobile gaming. If you are a developer of mobile games, what platform would you choose to put your game? Because obviously you don't have infinite resources, so you have to choose. If you are particularly a small one, you have to go. Do you want to go for the Apple platform? And that means you're going to probably put a not very, very high price, a cheap thing, and maybe with some additional features that if the interested gamer wants, you can pay a little more or have an advanced type of playing, or maybe even some companies are thinking to put small things into the game that you can buy, additional services. Or if you're thinking in the Android market, probably you're thinking about, okay, let's put it free, and then let's think about what kind of business model we will develop. Or if you go to some other platforms, will you bet on the Windows 7, for example, for mobile? Or this is too early? What do you think about the mobile operators platform? So we still don't know. and probably there are too many platforms, and we don't have the economies of scale to go for all of them. So one big challenge and the complexity of this ecosystem, and one example. The second one is we are still experimenting with business models, and also don't try to read the slide. Just, I mean, different types of players, they have different schemes to try to have revenues, but just focusing on the most evident, just leaving aside the mobile operators for a while, and thinking about developers and publishers, the ones who are really creating these content and applications. One can go for the traditional, typical subscription models with all the different features, or can go for advertising, or even we can think, let's be modern. Let's think about value-added applications inside the content and application. That will be the other option. So again, what will you choose? Which is the right business model? Is there enough possibilities, or are they scalable and able to everybody going for advertising, for example? And is we users, are we having our mobile use all day with advertising? Is that possible? And a different example, in this case from a mobile application, the mobile search will be, is going to be search in a mobile as big as it was in the web domain? Are we seeing Google also being big? Are we seeing a new Google? Is search a significant thing? And just looking into figures and looking to possible business models, for example, is in black. The advertising model for search in the mobile is still ridiculously small. I mean, we are talking 0.1% of mobile revenue, 0.2% of advertising expenditure. Nothing. We are still in the experiment, and we really don't know. And another question for you, the audience, or for the discussion afterwards. Third one, and moving quicker. Do we understand the users? We've been hearing in the previous presentation about this new social media type. Is social media in a mobile different, or is just social media in a mobile, full stop? And it looks like there are some things coming along the same lines, like privacy or trust or different types of consumer protection that obviously are significant for users, but there are also some additional things. Like in the mobile, we have wider demographics. We have in many countries where the mobile is the first choice for access to any kind of communication and network and internet. We have longer tail, so more possibilities of developing things. It's suited to casual consumption. Is while you keep connected with the social network, so you are personalized while in contact with the network. This is not the same that in the web, where there's always this sharing the final device, or the possibility of sharing a part of this device. So it could be more related with lifestyle and context than just the web counterpart. And there's a very nice example of the failures of not getting right what the users expect. And this is the case of mobile television. I think there are more failures than successes in this in the mobile television, not mobile video. I'm talking about the transfer of television to the mobile domain. And there's something like we can call like an adoption gap. So everybody is saying, okay, yeah, I would like to have this television on my mobile, but at the end no one is using it. And why? Because, well, we did some surveys and some studies, and it looks like there's something missing, that usefulness, some ease of use, that it's not just simply throwing technology on, or giving looks like a nice price for consumers. There's something more. And one of the big surprises in this domain, for example, is realizing that users are managing this mobile television while at home, not while commuting, not while they are walking in the street. They're using as a third screen or additional screen while they're at home. And fourth and final challenge in this summary of main things, and we were talking about this a number of in different sessions in this conference, is we don't know about the technology roadmap. We are talking all day about 4G, LTE, and it's going to be developed this year, and when it will reach some critical mass, and what happens with devices that will have this LTE, and what type of bands, because there are different flavors of LTE. But there's life beyond LTE, and part of this life is very important for us. We're talking about Internet of Things, but we're talking this Internet of Things, it was mentioned before lunch in one of the sessions. Okay, but which is the model of deployment? Which is the business model behind? Who is going to deploy all of these wonderful wireless sensors? We need to put this Internet of Things, and from that Internet of Things, gaining access to the context, and then having better and more interesting and more useful and more appealing applications and content. And when this slide I finish, this is, let's say, the final message or final perspective, at least from my perspective. I think the next big thing will be this context awareness, whatever it's a nickname you can put. You can use different monikers, but context awareness could be a good one. But which, when, how? And you see a list. We asked the experts because we were not confident about our own judgment, and say, okay, can you tell us which are the most important technologies in the future of mobile content applications, and particularly looking to context awareness, and when they will happen? And as you see, it's not obvious. Some of these names are not, people doesn't agree even in the definition of them. What is cognitive technologies, artificial intelligence is very far in the future. It's 5 years from now, it's 10 years from now. So everybody agrees that the mobile has a good chance to be the tool to bridge the real and virtual worlds, being this augmented reality that maybe could be the foremost example of a new type of application. But which, when, how we are going to deploy this? And with all of these more questions than answers, I will stop my presentation.